Hi, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden again, and we are now going to start our second half of our Tibetan turquoise necklace. We finished the focal in part 1. Part 2 is going to be making the chain and the little dangles from the chain. So I hope you enjoy this. Let's get started. Set this a little aside here because we're not going to need it for a while. So put it over here, and I'm going to get our turquoise chips. We're going to throw quite a few of them down here because I'm going to make 6 of these little pieces to go into to break and go into the chain as we go up. And then we'll decide after we do that, do we need some more of these little dangles that go down the edge here to go into the chain as well, or hang from the chain. So what I'm going to do is I have these old head pins. These are not ball head pins, they're regular head pins. I'm not a big fan of those, so I usually don't use them. So what I do with these is, because I know that these were on 3-inch pieces, head pins, I'm just going to take 6 of these head pins that have just the regular flat head that I don't use. I'm going to straighten them up as much as possible here because some of them are really crooked. And then I'm going to cut the heads off, and I'm going to just do wrapped loops on these to make our pieces that are going to go into our chain. So I'm just going to pull them up and then just cut the heads off like so. So there's the heads off, and now I'm just going to take these and I'm going to do a wrapped loop on each side, or one side of them anyway. Well, that one's probably going to be a little short, but oh well, we can work with it still. And once we get these all wrapped up, we can put our beads on and make our little loops, our little pieces, and then we will decide where we want to put them in the chain. So we'll just do, I'm just going to do 3 or 4. We're just going to do these up, and they'll just go, we'll just wrap them like normally, a normal wrapped loop, and bring them around so that we can wrap these 6 up. And then once we get these 6 wrapped up, we'll add the beads and such. So I'm just going to sort of do these like I would a line thing, and probably fast forward most of at least 4 of the 6. So we'll just take these now, grab them, and we're going to wrap these up. And I didn't really leave a lot of wire up here. I should have, so we're probably only going to get 2 or 3 wraps per wrap here, and that's fine. We only need technically 1 or 2 to wrap, and this one is dropping down, which I don't like, so we'll have to fix that. And in order to fix that, when I have this wrapped all up like this, what I will do is I will take, see, we're crooked here too, so we got to straighten that up. So I'm going to, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take and I'm going to put my pliers inside the loop, And then I'm going to take it, the other one below the loop, the other arm of it, and just push them up so that they're up here by our loop. And then we'll straighten that up some. So then when we have that done, we will feed our turquoise onto here. With the same pattern as the little ones down there. The 3, the spacer, and the 3. Now I'm not going to put a spacer on top and bottom like I did here, on the top, because these are going to feed into the wire anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So here is our first one. So then what I want to do is I'm going to twist them a little bit so I make sure that our chips fall as good as they can. Then I want to bend this over so that we're facing the same, our loop is going to face the same direction. See, I left a lot more wire up here than I needed to, but that's all right. So then we'll get in here, go up and around and over, bring it down and over, and then we're going to wrap it. So we'll take hold of it and wrap our wire up. And this one's trying to go over the top of its buddy down below, so we want to fix that. So we have one wrapped up here. I'm going to cut the loops, the extra line off all at once when I get all 6 of these put together. So I'm going to do one more regular one here, and then I'm probably going to fast forward making the other 4 so that we don't have to take up a lot of time doing them. So we're just wrapping this baby up. That one wrapped much prettier. Now we want to take 1, 2, 3, a spacer, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll wrap this one up. Like I say, you want it to face the same direction, your pins. So let's get it so it's facing the same way here. And we'll get this one wrapped up. Hold it and wrap it. Now, because this is chip and not a consistent size stone, you're probably going to discover that your wraps are not going to be, they're not all going to be the same length. They'll be close, but see, they aren't quite the same length. This one's a little longer. So anyway, let's fast forward putting the other 4 together, and then we'll cut our chain and we'll start putting them into it. Okay, now that I have these all wrapped up, I need to cut my extra wires off here and tuck these in, and then we'll be ready to start cutting our chain and putting it into putting these little sections into the chain. So Now, one thing I am going to do is probably see which ones are closest in length to each other and make sure that those two are on opposite sides of our chain to make sure that hopefully we will keep our chain about the same length from side to side. This baby doesn't want to cut. So we will get in with our little guys here. See if we can get it to finish up. There we go. Tuck that guy. And lastly is this one. So we have 6 little wrapped pieces of turquoise here. And now what we want to do is we want to take, like I say, and get these about the same. Check to see which are closest in length to each other. Those look good. This one looks to be the longest one. And it's still longer than that one. So, since this one looks to be a little shorter than this one, it might be about the same length as this one. Yeah, they are. So we will put those in those. And then this is the closest. Okay, so now these 3 on this side, these 3 on the other side. Put these up here in case we need them. And now we have to decide where we want to, how far up the chain we want to break to put these pieces in. So what we want to do is first, the first thing we need to do is decide how far up we want the first one to go. So not too horribly far, maybe this far. And so I'm just going to cut it right here. And then I will measure it to the other side and we'll get a similar length over there. And then we're going to just put them in and make the decision of how long we want the pieces to be between them as we go along. Now, if you wish to make them exactly the same, I mean, that's your option. You can do that. I'm going to put these first 2 probably down a little closer, and then the next 2 a little further apart, etc., till I get them in about, you know, I get all 3 pieces, sections in, and so there we go. There's the first 2 sections. And we'll take and put them onto our piece here first. And I should have got some more of those out because we're going to be breaking this right and left. And then we'll put our section of turquoise in, and then we'll go up from there. So let's get our first section stuck on here. So open up our ring here, put her onto our one side, drop our chain on, and close that up. Now we'll do the same over on this side. Then we need to get we need to get some more jump rings out so we can start putting our turquoise sections into our chain. So there's our start. So there we go. And I'll be right back after I get some jump rings out. Dumped out a little pile of jump rings, so we're going to just start putting, I'll grab a turquoise from either side and hook into the chain. Come on, go on there, baby. There we go. And now we need to cut our next hunk of chain. We need to decide how long we want the next piece. And frankly, I'm sort of thinking I might just see about measuring this piece we've already done and putting about the same length. And then we'll do the same all the way up. And then dependent on how long I want to make it, then the last pieces will just be whatever length I want it to end up being. So I think I like that, like there. So we'll just get the some chain about this same length and just keep going up the edge. This particular section is 3.5 inches. Actually, we may not need them that long. The more I think about it, 3.5 inches, and then another 3.5 inches is 7 on that side. Another 3.5 would be, well, it might be good. We'll see. I can always shorten them up if I decide I've made them too long. So we'll just sort of figure a length here. That looks pretty good. So I will cut, I think it's actually probably a little shorter than this, but if that is, then it's fine. And I will cut 4 of these lengths like this size to finish the other side up here, or to finish the sides up with our turquoise. And then we'll see how long it is and how long we need the chain to be to finish. So as I say, I'm cutting 4 lengths the same size here. And they will all just then go between our turquoise pieces. And if we want to put dangles, then we would probably put them somewhere around where our turquoise pieces end up being, maybe right from the bottom of our links here. We'll see. So there's the 4 pieces we're going to use to put our turquoise pieces on. So we will open our jump rings and get working on just putting these up, going up the line with these that we have cut. So just take a hook on, grab one of the chains, hook on, as I say, the beauty of chain work is that you can always easily just go in, cut some of the extra chain off, and then out, and then just jump ring it wherever you need it to be. So if I end up deciding that I've made this too long, then I'll just cut a piece of some of the wire, the chain out. And I think if I do cut it out, it's probably going to be down here towards the bottom, this piece here. So we'll see what happens. Now, when I hook this piece on, we're gonna stop, obviously, and I'll go over and put the other pieces on the other side, but then we'll measure it and see how long it is, how much more chain we need to finish this up. It almost looks like we don't need any at all, so I may end up taking some links out from the various pieces. We'll see how long it is. Let's measure how long this piece is right now from the jump to from the turquoise to the piece here. Whoop, come here, you. So it's almost 10 inches, which would be, this would already be 20 inches. So I'd only need 2 or 3 inches around the back to get, 24 or a little bit smaller. So let's keep going on. We'll just keep going on this other side here, and then we'll make those final decisions. Let's measure and see how we're doing, and if we want to, how much more we want to add as far as chain is concerned to finish this baby off. So we do have 10 inches, so that makes it 20 inches. And then, of course, we have our base piece across here. So I'm thinking we only want like 2 more inches of chain around the back, if even that much, and then our hook on. The other thing we need to think about is, do we want to put another dangle piece right here? I don't think we want them up any higher than that if we decide to put one in, but I am going to cut us I think 2 inches more of chain for either side. We'll hook that up, and then we will maybe only 1.5, because we of course have to put our closure on. And that will take up some space. So we'll put about 1.5 inches of more chain. Well, this is 2 inches here in the middle, so maybe that's what we'll just do 2 inches again, because that is, well, it's not, because it's got the jump rings in it. So it's about, it's a little over 1.5, so 1.25 maybe. So we'll get about 1.5, 1.25 inch of chain out here, 1 3/4, I should say. And we'll cut 2 pieces, get those on the back, and get our closure on. I think that's good. And then we'll decide, once we get our closure on, do we want to then put on one more dangle here, and make one of these for a dangle for going down right here beside this last one of our pieces. So we'll cut it right here. Oops, make sure you're cutting the right one. I just noticed I'm not sure which one I'm wanting to cut. Okay, this one just above my thumb is the one I want to cut. So we've got that cut off. We are done with our chain now. We have plenty of chain done up. And now we need to hook these two pieces on the back and then decide what kind of closure we're going to use and get it put on. And then we'll make that final decision on whether we want to put on one more dangle right here at this chain to bring the dangle portions up here. So let's get these pieces put on, and then we'll decide what kind of clasp we're going to use, whether I want to use a lobster claw, a magnetic clasp, or a ball and socket. Or even maybe a toggle, but I don't think I want to use a toggle. I'm sort of leaning towards maybe a magnetic clasp. I think that would work nicely on this because my magnetic clasps are quite strong, and so I wouldn't worry about it coming undone. So there we go. Now we just need to get the clasp and put it on, and like I say, decide if we want to do a dangle from right here as well, which could look pretty cool. So there is our piece so far. I'm going to get my magnetic clasps out and get one for the end here, and we'll put a magnetic clasp on, and I'll be right back. Well, here is our magnetic clasp. These are pretty strong. In fact, to get them to come apart, you actually sort of need to slide them sort of sideways a little bit first, so like that, so that they'll break apart, come loose. So I've still got some jump rings right here, so we will just jump ring this onto them, and get our magnetic clasp on. And then our last decision is, do we want that last dangle to go down there? Now that would look like sort of like dangle would be hooked on right here like this, so it would just drop down there. I think that might work nicely. We'll have to see what we think in a minute. So just hook this on like we would anything else, but a magnetic clasp is going to fight you because it's going to try and grab hold of every little piece of metal around it, including your chain and your jump rings. And I may look at that. It magnetized my pliers. I'm going to see if I can get 2 jump rings through this so that it adds an extra bit of strength to our clasp here, and I can, so that's good. But I have to pull it apart because it's trying to grab it, which is no surprise. There we go. So we have 2 jump rings on this one side, and then I will put 2 jump rings, so I only have one out here right now, it looks like. I'll have to get another one. On the other side, so that we have more safety as far as our magnet is concerned when you go to pull it apart, so that you don't automatically pull open your jump ring, because the magnet's pretty strong. So what are you doing here? There we go. So we will get our other jump ring out, and then I'm going to get, I think, two more, I think we'll get two more of the ball head pins out so we can make two more dangles to go up here. Okay, I've got the other jump ring. There it is. And we'll get that on the second, the other side for it, so it has two jump rings on it as well to hold that magnet well. Come on, you. As you can see, the magnet is trying to grab my pliers, consequently giving me a bit of a problem with putting it on here. And that's really nothing new. They do that all the time. So there, I think I got it through both places. Well, maybe not. It looks like it came back out of the... No, it's in both places. Now I just have to get it to close. Okay, now did I get it to go on properly? No, it looks like it twisted up, unfortunately. Let's see what we can do here with this. So we're going to have to take one of the rings back off because one, they're twisted to each other. So they're going in opposite directions, so they're not going to lay flat. So we got to get one of them back off and see if we can't get it to straighten. There, now it behaved. So we have a double jump ring on both sides, though this one doesn't seem to want to sit quite right on this side, which is funny because it's the side that was behaving a minute ago, and now it's not. So, okay, there we go. So there we go. We're all put together. But I am going to, I think, make a couple of dangles, see how they look. If we decide we don't like them, we can always take them back off. So we'll just get some of our turquoise pieces. We have a few left, not a great deal. We used quite a bit of these up. So we will do our dangles. Oh, come here, you. There we go. Looks like we need 3 more. Come on, where's your hole? There we go. Now this one actually has a pretty flat one, 2 relatively flat ones on it, so I'm going to take and put one of those flat ones onto the other piece over there. Since it's a little thinner, I want the dangles to be relatively close in size, so there's one. And let's see. This flatter piece on this side because both of these are relatively good sized. We'll see how these match up as far as length. They look pretty good. So this one's extra. So now we're going to wrap these 2 up. So over and over. Now we'll up and around and over, bring it down and around. Same with this one. Around and over, bring it down and around. Now we're just going to wrap these 2 up, and then we'll open this jump ring here where we've attached this other piece on, and then we will put these pieces into there. So there are those 2 wound up. So now all we're going to do is we're going to go back over here where this jump ring is right here. We're going to open it back up. Now if we wanted to, we could put another little tiny jump ring in here to put this on rather than just putting it on the original jump ring. But I think it'll be fine on the original jump ring. So that's what we're going to do. Let's make sure we have this closed up. So it'll just dangle down like so on the jump ring. And then we'll put this one in the other side. And I'm not going to put any up here on the other spots because I think this is plenty down here. So open this baby up, slide our little dangle piece onto here, and close it back. And let's see how she's looking. So there we go. She is finished. Now, is this an inexpensive piece? No, it's extremely expensive, actually. These pieces, well, let's see, there were 9 for $125. So each of these pieces is $14 a piece. Then this strand of turquoise that we used most of was $54. So we're looking at probably, you know, a good $45 worth of these turquoise pieces. So this is probably a couple of $100 necklace. But I think it turned out really pretty. So let's turn up, and I will hold it up so you can see how it looks. I might even try it on, but I think it's gonna look, it looks really cool. So there we go. She's all finished. We're gathering up our chains. See how she looks? Isn't that cool? So I'm going to put her on, and you can see about how she looks on. See now this upper, these are the two upper pieces of, I think the last two are right here at my neck. Then these two go right beside my neck, and the lower ones are down here. And the little drops are right there. So now we could pull this up a little bit more, but it's all right where it's at too. If it was up a little bit more, it would be, you know, hang a little higher. But I think it's all right as it is. But we could have left these two off. But I think they look good there. They bring these dangles from this up this way more. But I am debating shortening it just a little bit, not too much. Maybe just couple of links worth if I do decide to shorten it some. But I think it's cool looking. I think it's really nice. It turned out very pretty. Like I said, it will be relatively expensive since there is so much turquoise in it. But it is a really pretty piece. I think it turned out really pretty. So hope you enjoyed making this with me. I think it turned out lovely. Like I say, I am debating taking just a couple of links out here and maybe here to shorten it just a touch, but it's good as is. I think it's very pretty. So there we go. Our necklace all done. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and the turquoise chips, and these Tibetan turquoise pieces were given to me as a gift from Randy Brown of Thunderhorse Descendant for helping her out with her morning coffee while she had to be off. So there we go, all done. I hope you enjoyed making that with me. And we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.